Hi friends, welcome to another new episode of The Root Cause. In this episode, we shall be talking about how to manage different constitutions, because we know that each one of us has got a different constitution. Before I go ahead, I would request all of you to understand that whatever I've been capturing in my videos is a gist of the concepts and the fundamentals that I've captured in my books, The Root Cause, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So in case you are finding this topic interesting, and I would request you to pick up a copy of these books, which are the links of these books are captured in the description. Okay, so let's proceed now. To begin with, let's talk about Vat people. Vat is the easiest to get disturbed. This is because Vat is hollowness. Excess of Pitta will create too much of burning of our tissues, so it will create hollowness. Because the tissues will get burned, it will create hollowness. If the Pitta is very, very less, then the blood flow will become weak in certain places and it will start going like this. That will also create Vat. So Vat is the easiest to disturb. I have just given you these two examples only, but otherwise Vat is the easiest to get disturbed. Let's talk about Vat pyramid. When I'm saying pyramid, you can check on the screen. You can see here on the screen also the pyramid is appearing, the Vat pyramid. I'll explain you this subsequently, but we must understand that Vat people are so because there is hollowness, and this is the reason the blood keeps changing routes in them. That may make them moody, that may make them stimulated at times, but on the other hand it may make them suddenly go in their cocoon also. Okay, because the blood, limited amount of blood is flowing through larger volume of the blood vessel, so it will keep going like this. Sometimes it will go like this, sometimes it will go like this. And that's why Vat people, the focus also keeps changing and they find it very difficult. So what to do? What exactly should be done for Vat management? As you can see here in the pyramid, Vat people need lot of tissues. That is the reason sweet taste has been captured as the maximum volume. Means out of the 6 tastes, Vat people should be having loads of sweet food in their food, in their meal. When I say sweet, obviously you know that sweet does not mean sugar. Sweet means all the subtastes of sweet, which is proteins, fats, carbs, minerals, vitamins. So Vat people, and let me tell you one more thing. Since Vat is the easiest to get disturbed, you lack in one mineral and you will start developing Vat. I explained in the previous episodes also that if magnesium is less in the body, it will start creating excess of Pitta, which will create Vat and which will create hollowness. It's like this, I told you. When excess of Pitta is there, our body opens up a lot and it creates a lot of space in between. So that's also creating Vat. That is why Vat is the easiest to get disturbed. So sweet has to be maximum. These people have to focus less on fiber and more on getting proteins, fats, carbs, vitamins and minerals. And what exactly should be least in them? The least in them should be bitter food, bitter taste. Why? Because bitter reduces nerve conduction, Pitta in the nervous system, electricity. And if the electricity goes down, the circulation, which is already slow in Vat people, I'm not talking about Vat Pitta people, I'm talking about Vat people, just to reiterate, the circulation will further go down. As such, typical Vat people feel very cold. So they need to have less of bitter foods, because most of the bitter foods, they reduce Pitta. Okay. What else? These people need to have a lot of sour foods. It should be healthy sour foods. Why? Because sourness expands the volume of the cells. Okay, so it will increase the volume of the blood as well. It will increase volume of the rasa and the rest of the tissues also. Here we must remember one very important thing, that it is not that we do not maintain a balance. We should be focusing, I reiterate, we should be focusing more on proteins, because proteins are the building blocks. They're like bricks in the wall, and Vata people are like a wall which has got too many bricks missing and the air is flowing through that. So prime focus should remain on sweet taste, then comes the sour taste. Extra of sour taste will create thick blood, so we can't be going too much on sour. Remember, all these pyramids are thumb rules. Okay, next comes salty. Obviously salty, because salt also expands the volume of the blood. Sodium expands the volume of the blood. Plus you are getting so many other salts and minerals also, magnesium and blah blah blah. From here we must remember, I am not talking about table salt. I am talking about rock salt, which is extracted from a good site, so that you are not just getting sodium chloride along with a lot of baking agents and all that, which you get in a white table salt. Here you are getting lots of other trace elements also. You from Himalayan salt and the other rock salts coming from good sources, you tend to get around 84 salts or minerals. They may be in very small quantities, but they do matter. Okay, so it's automatic. It's quite logical that Vata people should be having less of astringency, because astringency shrinks the cells and it can cause problems. But again, as I told you, it's a thumb rule. The most important thing remains bitter, the least, sweet, the maximum. And pungency should be somewhere in the center, because if you increase too much of pungency, then the nervous system will become overactive. So what will happen? Electrical signals will go much faster than the movement of the blood. So there will be hollowness. For example, let's suppose at this place less of blood is reaching, and you give pungency. So if you give too much of pungency like chilies and all are highly pungent, so the nervous system will get suddenly stimulated and it will send electricity here also. But here the blood is not reaching, because the blood volume is lesser. So what you need to do is you increase the pungency, but you keep it at in the middle only, so that blood also moves along and then reaches here. So no hollowness is created. Wherever there will be hollowness and there will be pungency, it will create short circuit. For example, if it happens in the brain, it will create anxiety, nervousness, aggression, frustration. Okay, so that much about Vata pyramid. We come to now Pitta pyramid. In case of Pitta pyramid, what is the logical thing? I'm sure the viewers can understand, but in Pitta is primarily pungency, the quickness, the electricity which is flowing, the speed of the electricity which is flowing. So the processing speed of the Pitta people is faster. They have leadership qualities, but they are aggressive also. Okay, so how to control that? Reduce their pungency to minimum, and keep their sweetness somewhere towards the top. Okay, because Pitta people, their metabolism is high, so but then you need to reduce the Pitta in these people, the speed of electricity. So what you need to do? You need to give them bitter. All right. Another thing is that Pitta people also need to have a bit of astringency, because as such Pitta increases sourness, acidity. So they can't afford to have too much of sourness. They need to have a bit of astringency, which keeps the blood flow slightly slow. Otherwise, in Pitta people, the blood moves very quickly. They may be having a lot of blood as compared to Vata people, pure Vata people. And here we are talking about pure Pitta people. But they can't afford to have too much of pungency. Here I must also talk about a concept called as Deepan Pachan in Ayurveda. Deepan Pachan means Pachan means digestion, Deepan means earthen lamp. So you are supposed to ignite your Agni or the digestive fire in such a way that the rasa in your body is not boiling. It is warm and it is giving a subtle nutrition and subtle happiness and subtle bliss to the entire body through the nutrition. All right, so let's come to Kapha pyramid now. In Kapha pyramid, Kapha people are those where there is a lot of the Pitta is so low in Kapha people. Kapha people tend to be slightly sluggish, and while a balanced Kapha means a person who is calm, composed, and who does his or her work with a calm and composed speed as compared to Vata and Pitta people. However, if Kapha becomes too much, then it will start creating sluggishness in them. That is why sweet food has been kept at the bottom of the pyramid. That means Kapha people should have loads of fiber. It does not mean that they don't have normal food, proteins, fats and carbs and all that. They have, but they need to have loads and loads of vegetables. They should have less of fruits. They should have lots of vegetables, because fruits have loads of sugar also. They can't afford to have that. Pitta people can afford to have that. But Kapha people should have loads and loads of fiber in their food, along with balanced protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, and carbs. On the other hand, I said Vata people should have less of fiber and should have nutritional dense foods. So that means this before we move forward, we can say that Vata people should be focusing a lot on pulses, on lentils, on grains, okay, on milk and milk products. You can get vitamins and minerals from here also, from these things also. It's a absolutely misconception that you can't. Of course, you need to have a bit of vegetables also to get specific, minerals and vitamins. But when we switch over to Kapha people, they should not be having fruits at all. They should be having loads of vegetables in their food and slightly less proteins, fats and carbs. Then these people need to have a lot of pungency in their food so that the blood circulation becomes quicker and they increase Vata. So Vata people need to increase Kapha, good Kapha in them, and Kapha people need to increase Vata in them. Okay. Obviously, Kapha people should have less of sour foods, because sourness expands, and Kapha has got. I told you that Kapha people will have gaps, a bit of gaps also. They may have very wide blood vessels, but while a lot of blood is going in their body, even then they have loads of Kapha also deposited in the space which has got created. It may not be that much as Vata people, but a bit of it. But then Kapha people need to become a bit like this. So that's why we need to give them more of astringency. One very important thing is that no food should be followed, no food, no medicine should be followed forever. All these things are there to bring balance in our body. Our body is like a seesaw. Okay, so there are times when, because of XYZ reasons, wrong lifestyle or a very quick movement, or because of excess of sweet foods and all that, our seesaw has tilted towards one side. The aim of all these lifestyles and all, or the pyramids, is to bring it back here. If you continue, it's going to become like this. So kapha people, sooner or later, in case they keep having kapha pyramid, they sooner or later they'll become very high on vat, if in the long run. That's why our aim should be to bring it to the balance and then follow the middle path. It's a slow process, because life is literally like driving a vehicle. Initially, when you are learning to drive a vehicle, you're going towards left, you're going towards right, and gradually you understand how to follow the middle path. Okay, so that much for this episode. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, I would request you to like and subscribe it. And for further details, you can refer to my book. Thank you so much. God bless.